Welcome to the RavenPack Research Symposium. We are excited to have you join us again for the 5th year in a row. This year, we will be covering a very hot topic, the big data and machine learning revolution. We had over 700 people register for today's event. Unfortunately, we can only fit 250 by law in this room. So we apologize for those that couldn't get in, but we are really excited that this is really a sign of how much interest there is in big data and machine learning. We will be streaming live the presentations and the video just outside the lounge to your right. So for those that don't find a seat, there will always be presentations available live outside. All sessions, by the way, will be available throughout the day on those screens. And we also want to thank our co-sponsors and friends from Dow Jones and FactSet for making this event happen yet again another year. So thanks for that. We have an amazing lineup of speakers today. They include top buy-side and sell-side professionals. We have representatives from JP Morgan to the CME. We have speakers from Credit Suisse to the US Federal Reserve. Now, just with a show of hands, would you mind raising your hand if you're from the buy side? Okay. What about the sell side? All right. In academia? Okay, 1, 2. So yeah, this is what we expected. We expected that this audience would be primarily buy-side, institutional, and this is effectively what our speakers will be addressing today. Let me go over quickly through the agenda. Now expect an excellent set of presentations today, and also some really exciting panel discussions. I will kick off the agenda with a short presentation, hopefully to set the stage of what will happen today. The keynote will be delivered by our friends from JP Morgan. The morning session will continue with a presentation on signals and returns, looking at different modeling choices. And we will then be looking at machine learning specifically used for trading commodities. We will take a break and have lunch served right outside this room. It's the tower room, so to your right, to the far end, we will have lunch served, and there will be 2 buffet areas. We will come back to this room where all presentations will take place, and we'll be discussing how to prepare your organization for the so-called big data revolution. We will then have a talk on how treasury prices are affected by macroeconomic news. And we will then have some new and interesting presentations on new technology that is being developed at RavenPack. As we move on to the afternoon session, the next talk will be specifically around this new industrial revolution in investment management. And we are going to take a little break after that, but I hope you can join us still for the rest of the presentations, where the next talk will be really about AI and what does the future look like? What will it bring? Is it a threat? Are there opportunities around AI that we should be aware of? We will sort of end the day with a presentation on the age of data-driven finance, and we'll have a panel discussion with some heavy hitters in quant research that have been focusing on big data and artificial intelligence. Last but not least, the moment you'll probably all be waiting for, we'll have a cocktail reception, and you guys hopefully can enjoy a drink with us, network for a little while. Should be fun. All of the presentations are available on our website. Right. Now, before I get into the rest of the event, let me take an opportunity to introduce RavenPack. And why don't I show you a quick clip that tells you a little bit about who we are and what we do.
We all strive to make informed decisions, but we are exposed to so much information so quickly that we struggle to make sense of it. Information moves faster than ever, and we are at a point where it's impossible to keep up with the details without losing track of the big picture. There is a better way. RavenPack takes on the heavy lifting, analyzing thousands of sources of information in the blink of an eye. From investing and trading, risk management and compliance, to competitive intelligence, we find what you need to know, identify the things you need to watch, and the topics driving your decisions. Our big data platform delivers analytics you can easily download and incorporate into your own applications. Fuel your ideas with our powerful visualization tools. Leverage our unique information advantage and focus on what truly matters. This is decision-making evolved. This is RavenPack.
Now, there are 5 things that I would like you to take away about us. For starters, we're all about practical artificial intelligence. We think of AI as a tool, and we try to use it to solve problems. We don't romanticize it. We think that it's the way forward. It's the way computer development must proceed. We're experts in big data. We started big data or doing big data before it was even coined big data. And we started developing our own software, managing our own data centers, and now we're all cloud-based and really believe in the power of the cloud. We also believe that self-service is the way to go, that people should have the right and the choice to pick the data they want when they want it. And we're making all of our information available so that clients can basically define the data that they need when they need it. We also believe in APIs and that we should allow for people to connect to our platform and make it very easy and accessible for them to use our information in their own applications. So we really believe that people should develop new ways of leveraging big data, and it shouldn't be RavenPack telling you how to do so. It should be you that owns that power. We're also very much into visualization of big data. And this is a very hard problem, making it not just look good, but be useful. So again, it sort of ties into the types of things that we like to do and the types of things that we believe in. And part of that, and in order to facilitate these technologies, we invest very heavily in research. Now, we have our own team of data scientists. And in fact, we believe every modern firm should have their own data science team. We produce original quantitative research. Just in the last 10 months, we've published 3 studies, specifically around equities and the use of big data and sentiment data. By the way, you can request these studies on our website. Today, we're announcing 2 new research reports. The first one is on equities, and it addresses a way to measure abnormal media attention to make predictions on stock returns. And the second study is on global macro. And here we're specifically looking at futures and commodities and seeing how RavenPack data can help in a more global macro environment. Our chief data scientist will be presenting his results as part of his presentation later today on this last paper. Now, let me kick off, set the stage. And I thought it would be just good to bring out a few definitions. I had to choose one on big data. As you obviously can expect, there are many out there. I like this one. Extremely large data sets that may be analyzed computationally to reveal patterns, trends, and associations, especially relating to human behaviors and interactions. Now, for us, big data is everything concerning text files, video files, audio, photos, numerical data, any sensory or information coming from the Internet of Things. We see roughly 80 to 90% of this big data being unstructured. So it will be mostly Internet of Things information and text. And it's a very large space, and it's typically very difficult to analyze. The second definition, which is important, is what is machine learning, right? And we think of machine learning as a way of using algorithms to learn from data without explicitly programming where to look, right? And there are 4 specific areas where we see machine learning and finance thriving. The first one is in unstructured data analysis. We're obviously familiar with natural language processing, looking at data mining and text analytics. This is where RavenPack mostly concentrates on. We find our customers are mostly using machine learning for data modeling, where they're controlling for outliers or cleaning data, handling missing values. We also see our clients using it in predictive analytics, specifically around regression and classification, clustering, and then finally portfolio optimization, where they look for new ways of combining different alpha signals. So why do we call this a revolution? Why is this, for starters, an opportunity for us to think how the world of finance is changing? Now, a revolution is defined as a fundamental change in an organizational structure that takes place when people revolt or against some current order, right? And I'm seeing 5 signs that this is the beginning of a revolution in finance. For starters, we're sensing just explicit discontent with traditional investment management. Whether it's management fees or lack of transparency, lack of trust, there's certainly a change taking place where investors no longer trust the traditional investment management process. We're also seeing that a small group of companies control most of the data. Whether it's the exchanges or market data providers, Bloomberg, Reuters, or whether it's companies like Google or Amazon, they have most of the data. And it's just a few firms that control it. In a sense, we're living in a digital oligarchy, right? The third sign is that data is growing at a frantic pace, and it's actually becoming unmanageable. Without new technologies, it's impossible for us to make sense of what information is being thrown at us. And this is a problem. The fourth sign is that we're seeing a spike in the number of alternative data providers. Now, the traditional provider would be your market data firm, as well as your companies providing fundamental information. Most investment decisions are made using those 2 sources of data. And now we have hundreds of alternative providers that claim they can give you a way to measure macroeconomic variables before they come out from the official means. Firms that claim they have sources to predict stock returns or predict the company's earnings, even before the information comes out. Some of them are valid, some of them are not. But the fact is that there are alternatives now. And the fifth sign is that intuition instead of data-driven decision-making has been the norm. And we know better, right? We know that data science can help us make sense of the world of big data. And yet, the world of finance is still very traditional. So, welcome to the big data and machine learning revolution.
This is RavenPack.